You have fire in your gut? Okay, we're here for a reason, to win games. So if you didn't have that fire in your gut, you better light the fire pretty fast.
And welcome back to the latest greatest episode of the Shaving Points podcast. My name is Jayden May, joined as always by my co-host Quentin Crisco as we break down all of the games for NFL week. What are we, 10?
Week 10.
Week 10. Go through all the games, give you a quick rundown, and if we like any of the bets that week. So starting off Thursday Night Football, we have Bengals versus the Ravens. Ravens 6.5-point favorites at home, 52.5-point total here. I think this Bengals offense is red hot right now. This Ravens offense is red hot right now. Lamar might become the 3-time at the end of this season if Derrick Henry doesn't steal it away from him. And Joe Burrow is slinging the rock all over the field. I like the over here, even on a short week. I think we can easily get us a 28, 25-ish game, somewhere around there. I think we can go over here.
Yeah, I was really close taking the over here, and I think I actually did use it in some teasers and stuff like that. But ultimately, Thursday Night Football scares me away a little here. But I do have to say, like 52.5 is a big number, but the Ravens have given up a lot of points lately, and the Bengals, they can score a lot of points, and they've given up a lot of points too. So, I do think the over is the play here if you're looking to make a play in this game. I'm just not taking it because Thursday Night Football stuff just gets kind of weird in my mind.
Yeah. Next up, we have Giants versus Panthers. Panthers plus 5.5 at home, 41.5-point total here. Panthers, big-time sellers at the trade deadline, got rid of probably the best wide receiver on their team, one of the hottest young prospects in the NFL. Shocked that they got fleeced and had to give up a 7th-rounder with him, only received back a 4th-rounder. So bad trade for the Panthers. And so I'm not betting this one, but I'll probably lean Giants. I mean, it seems like the Giants are just feisty enough, and I think the Giants are playing decent football right now for being as bad of a team as they are. I think the Panthers are just bad all around. So I'd probably lean the Giants here, but also hard to take the Giants as almost a full touchdown against anybody. So,
yeah, I mean, so this one's being played in Germany. History says the favorite is the way to go overseas, but I'm not taking it. I have a lean towards the Giants here. I have a stronger lean towards the over because the Panthers defense can't really stop anything. And the Panthers O-line is pretty good up the middle. So they have, in theory, the talent there to slow down the Giants D-line, which is really what their defense revolves around. So the over 41.5, I have a lean towards it. I can't, in good faith, give that, though, with these two.
I completely forgot that was in Germany. What a treat for them. Next up, we have Patriots Bears. Bears 6.5-point favorites. 38.5-point total. We have Drake May versus Caleb Williams. Everybody keeps talking about Caleb versus Jaden Daniels. Jaden Daniels looks really good right now, but Drake May also looks all right. I mean, the worst situation out of the three, I would say, by far, but he's looking a little frisky out there. This is a big game for the Bears. They need Caleb to look good, but maybe not. I don't know. I mean, what are we doing about that coaching situation at the end of the year? Do you do the same thing that you've done in the past and not fire the coach, draft a quarterback, then fire the coach, and then year 2 have a different regime? It looks like it's trending that way.
I'll touch on that more in the long form one, but it's a mess. They just need a win. Any way you can get it. I can't bet Bears minus 6.5 here. That number's too big. I have a slight lean towards the over, but these are two teams where I just don't know what to expect from. I can't really bet this game.
It's a gross over 38 or gross total 38.5.
Yeah.
Next up, we have Bills Colts. Colts plus 4.5 at home, 46.5-point total here. Flacco didn't look great last week, but I still think he gives the Colts the best chance to win. He's going to continue to be the starter here. Josh Allen, probably if the MVP is not won by a Baltimore Raven, it's got to be Josh Allen right now, I would say.
I'd say so.
So, yeah, that offense is looking fantastic. That Bills team's looking really, really good. 4.5-point road favorites. I don't love, but I don't know. I don't see how this Bills team doesn't cover this number, but I'm staying away from it.
This is an easy bet to me for the over 46.5. Josh Allen, that offense has been rolling. The Colts defense has been one of the worst in the NFL. Like really, I guess they have kind of bounced back lately, but like against the Titans and the Dolphins without Tua, and they held the Texans to 23, the Vikings to 21. I'm still not inspired. I think this DB group is still trouble for this team, and I think the Bills will be able to score points on them. I think Joe Flacco is gonna match him though, because I think the Bills defense runs a very vanilla base concepts that Joe Flacco knows how to beat, and I think he's going to find the holes in it and put up points as well. So over 46.5 for me.
All right, next up we have Vikings, Jags. Jags 4.5-point dogs at home. 47.5-point total here. Vikings got themselves some wins after a couple, or got themselves a win after a couple of losses. Still don't know how much I'm buying the Vikings. I think the Jaguars are still better than the record, but I think this is one of those games where the better coach wins out, and I think Vikings have far and away the better coaching staff here. So I lean towards the Vikings, but the Jags just continue to stay frisky. I mean, they should have got blown out against the Eagles, and they fought back in and had a chance to win. So it's hard for me to take the Jags here. And they're going to be at home with Minnesota going down to Florida. Yeah. And it's tough to play in Florida once we start getting into these November, Decembers where it's still 90 degrees there.
Yeah, I lean towards the Jaguars in this one. I don't have an honest bet, but like when I'm looking at the Vikings team, they scored 20 against a bad Rams defense, only 21 against a rough Colts defense. I think the Jags defense is probably somewhat similar to both those teams talent-wise. Yeah. So I could see this being a pretty close game. If the Vikings are only putting up 20, 21 points, I think the Jags can hit 17 in that, maybe 20, maybe even pull off a victory here, especially with that home field advantage you mentioned. I'm not betting it, but I have a light lean towards the Jaguars.
Yeah. All right, next up we have Broncos, Chiefs. Chiefs 8.5-point favorites at home. 41.5-point total here. Patrick Mahomes, is he injured? I don't know. He looked like he was injured, then he came back out, threw a touchdown, went to overtime, ran for a couple of first downs, and then iced the game at the very end and got the overtime win. So I don't know. Maybe if he hurt his knee, he doesn't need a knee. But I don't know if I could take the Chiefs as a nearly double-digit favorite against anybody. I don't have any doubt in my mind that they'll win this game. And they probably will have a game at some point this year where they do blow somebody out. But I don't think it'll be this Broncos team. That defense is too good, division rival. I think the Broncos could keep it close, so staying away from this one too.
I'm not touching it because I don't trust Bo Nix against this Chiefs defense, and I could see this turning into a multi-score win. But I do have a light lean towards the Broncos cover 8.5. It just feels like a big number. Feels like every Chiefs game has been close this year, and that Broncos defense might be able to limit the Chiefs a little. I think the Chiefs win this game, but Broncos 8.5 seems a little rich. Lean towards the Broncos on that.
Yeah. All right, next up we have Falcons Saints, one of the biggest rivalries in the NFL. Saints at home as Saints are 3-point underdogs. Yeah. Sorry.
I messed up. I messed up our graphic on the screen. They're 3-point dogs.
Yeah, I thought so. But 46.5-point total here. I'm taking the Falcons here as road dogs. I know it's one of the biggest rivalries. Throw the records out the window, all of that. New coach coming in. I just don't see it. This Saints team is absolutely dead, I think. And I think this Falcons team's red hot right now. I mean, especially if Drake London's back and healthy, which it looks like he's going to play, and the way they're running the ball with Bijan and that defense just keeps finding ways to take the ball away as well. I'm going Falcons here. I'm betting them at -3.
I'm not touching it. I want to take the Falcons here, but I've been burned too many times by not believing the dead cat bounce from a coach firing is real. So I'm avoiding that at all costs with Dennis Allen out the door. But I like the bet of Falcons. I'm just not taking it because Dennis Allen just got fired, and I think the Saints will be a little inspired by that.
All right, next up we have Steelers Commanders. Commanders -3 at home. 45.5 point total here. I'm taking the over here. I think both teams will be able to score. I think Mike Williams' addition with the Steelers offense, being able to be opposite of George Pickens and be able to press that ball down the field, what Russ likes to do, I think opens up this Steelers offense more than we've seen probably all season, and they're still going to have that power run game. And then I think the Commanders are going to find themselves in a lot of scoring situations. They're great between the 20s, not great in the red zone, but their kicker's been making everything, and then they go out there and kick 5 or 6 field goals like it seems like they do every week. They're going to have more than enough points to bring this over home for us. So I love this over 45.5.
I'm taking Steelers money line. It's 3-point dogs. That's what? I mean, they're plus 126 on the money line.
Up to 125, somewhere in there.
I've been saying all year, I think Washington's due for a bit of regression. Like, you look at their last 2 games, they only scored 18 against the Bears. I think the Steelers' defense is better than the Bears. They scored 27 against the Giants last week, only won by 5. I think the Steelers are a much better team than the Giants. I think Washington's a little susceptible right now. I think there has been a game plan put out there to limit Jaden Daniels to an extent, and I think the Steelers are the team to hand them a loss here. Their first loss since, week 6 against the Ravens. I see the Steelers walking out of this game with a win.
I like it. Next up, we have Titans Chargers. Chargers 7.5 point favorites at home. 37.5 point total here. Chargers looked good last week. I didn't think they were going to look that good. Maybe they can get something rolling here and find themselves in a wild card playoff spot here in the next couple of months. But Titans defense is so frisky, so it's hard to. I just don't see the firepower from the Chargers to be able to beat this Titans team by 8. But the Bears covered that number, and I don't think they scored an offensive touchdown. So,
did the Bears cover that number?
I thought they won.
Bears won by 7.
Oh, by 7. Okay, so they didn't cover that. But still, yeah. I mean, the Bears covered, or the Bears won by 7 without scoring an offensive touchdown. So you never know. But I'm staying away from it. I would probably lean Titans just because that defense, and Tony Pollard's been running the ball great for him. I think he's second in the AFC right now in rushing. So yeah, I would probably have to lean the Titans in a close game, be able to cover that number, but
I lean the Chargers. I mean, the Chargers have been playing ball.
They're 2 games over 500 though.
Yeah, the Jim Harbaugh effect, baby. Let's get it. So I just don't believe the Titans can really score against this team. Maybe they can. I mean, you know what? I heard a take that the over in this game was a good play, and I'm torn on it because, and the reason was that the Titans have played, what was it? They've played some, I guess both these teams haven't played high scoring games against high scoring teams lately. So the numbers are driven down by it, but neither of their defenses are probably that good. So it should be over 37.5, which I can buy that to an extent, but I just worry about the Titans being able to score, if I'm being frank. I just don't know that they can score that well. So I'm ultimately staying away.
All right, next up we have Jets Cardinals. Cardinals 1.5 point home dogs, 46.5 point total. We've been saying it all year. We don't sleep on the Cardinals here. I'm taking Cardinals money line. The Jets, I mean, they have some Thursday night magic, it seems like, but outside of that, they don't look great. And this Cardinals team is frisky. They play good football. They're running the ball well. They were running great with 2 different running backs against the Bears. Marvin Harrison Jr. starting to come along. It seems like that Kyler connection is really starting to work. So, and then who's the tight end they have there in Arizona? He's been playing out of his mind lately as well. I like the Cardinals here. I'm taking Cardinals on the money line plus 105.
I'm drawing a blank on the tight end's name. I got it right here.
have
Trey
him on your-
McBride.
Trey
Trey
McBride.
McBride. Give me Cardinals money line. I got it at just about even odds, and the Jets. They've won 2 Thursday night games and a game against the Titans. They looked nice against the Texans. They still only scored 21 points though. So I think going to Arizona, I don't think their talent is that much extremely better that they should win a road game on distant travel like that. I like the Cardinals at plus money here. Give me Cardinals money line.
All righty. And then we have Eagles, Cowboys. Cowboys at home. 7-point underdogs, 41.5-point total. No Dak Prescott, no Micah Parsons. Cowboys are absolute shambles. They got Jonathan Mingo for a 4th-round pick. Joke of a trade, in my opinion. But, yeah, it's tough time to be a Dallas Cowboys fan right now. I'll probably take the Eagles right here just because, I don't think this Cowboys team has any life to it whatsoever. I don't know if we're going to see Trey Lance or Cooper Rush, but I don't think it matters. I'd probably take Eagles here if I had to, but I'm not playing this one.
I'm taking Eagles -7. I think backup quarterback in for Dallas. I think Dak Prescott. A lot of their offense has just been Dak Prescott running West Coast offense and spamming CeeDee Lamb. I think you take Dak Prescott out of that equation, this offense might really struggle. And the Eagles have been rolling, so Eagles -7.
All right, next up we have Lions, Texans. Texans at home, 3.5-point dogs, 49.5-point total. Our Lions look like one of the best teams in the league right now. They look absolutely unstoppable. I'm riding the hot hand. I'm taking the Lions. Texans look like they're showing a little bit of regression coming down the stretch here. So I like the Lions to keep rolling. I like them minus the 3.5.
I'm not betting this one, but I do have to say the Detroit Lions have beat up on some downtrodden teams the last few weeks. And they've played good football. Don't get me wrong here, but they haven't had to do a lot offensively. And they beat the Packers last week, but Jordan Love was in the game. He was out of the game. Was he good to go? Was he wasn't? Who knows? Before that, they beat the Titans by like 1 million. And then they beat the Vikings by 2 and destroyed the Cowboys. Like, in a few of those games, they barely had to throw the football. I think there's a real chance there's some rust on this Detroit offense right now, just from a lack of use that the Texans might be able to take advantage of. If the Texans have been rolling better lately, I'd be all over Texans money line because the Texans have had a rough spot here. And, I think there's a slight chance Nico Collins might be back for that game. That might be enough to get me back on him, but it's just a lean for now. If Nico Collins is back, maybe I'm in on it, but we'll see.
All right, then we have Dolphins, Rams. Rams minus 2.5 at home. I think this is wrong too. I think
yeah, it is. That's
Rams are dogs, 2.5-point dogs, 50.5-point total here. Dolphins going across the country being a road favorite scares me, but at the end of the day, I don't think the Rams can stop this offense if this offense can get going. And I think Tua is a very good quarterback, and so I think the offense will be able to get going. I kind of like this over 50.5 here. I probably wouldn't take either side. Actually, put me down for the over in this game. I'm taking over 50.5 Dolphins Rams.
Yeah, I kind of like the over there because the Rams are 2.5-point favorites. That's not incorrect.
Oh, I thought we were talking about it before the podcast, and it was the other way around.
No, Rams are 2.5-point favorites in this one.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I've got Dolphins at a bunch of teasers, so I'm not betting this one. I think the over makes sense here. I think these are 2 explosive offenses, and the Rams defense can give up points, but they're like Matt Stafford and company are going to stick with you. Is Nakua good to go?
He played last week, but got kicked out of the game.
Okay, as long as he
So,
played last week, then yeah, the Rams are going to stick with you as long as Nakua is out there, along with Cooper Kupp.
he didn't leave. Yeah, he didn't leave to injury. He got ejected. So.
I do like a bunch of dogs on teasers this week. Teasers. I like the Dolphins on a teaser. I like the Texans on a teaser. Let's see. I like I actually like the Chargers on a teaser, but I like the Steelers on a teaser. The Saints, I can get behind on a teaser. I don't love it, but I can get behind it. The Broncos on a teaser. The Panthers on a teaser. And the Bengals on a teaser. Bunch of dogs to tease this week.
Yeah. Teasers are nuts. And then we have college football. I've been avoiding Texas Tech most of the year, but I'm taking them this week. Colorado's coming to town. It's going to be probably the biggest game that's happened in Lubbock in the last couple of years. Two teams still fighting for a spot at the conference championship. I'll take Texas Tech money line plus 135. Give me the University of Texas hosting Florida. Give me Texas minus 21.5. Georgia, Ole Miss. I will take the over 54.5 that game. I think Georgia's offense can absolutely get rolling to Carson Beck, and I think Ole Miss will be able to score the football. Next up, this is assuming Carson Daly plays for Army because that fucked me last week. But give me Army minus 5.5 going to North Texas, assuming the quarterback plays. One of my favorite plays of the week, LSU at home versus Bama at night. Give me the Tigers in Death Valley plus 3. It seems like LSU always wins this game. This is basically an elimination game for the playoffs, so whoever loses this game is officially out of the college football playoff, and whoever wins most likely going to win out and has a really good shot to be that 5 to 9 range at the end of the year. So, yeah, give me LSU in this spot, and Kellen DeBoer has an opening season of 9-3.
And then for me on college, give me Mizzou minus 1.5 at home against Oklahoma. Give me the over 62.5 for Colorado at Texas Tech. Give me Tulane minus 26.5 at home against Temple. Give me Indiana minus 13.5 at home against Michigan. And give me the West Virginia money line on the road at Cincinnati.
I love it. Love it. All right. Well, that'll be it for this week. And did you want to try to do a long one Thursday, or are you going to try to do a long one tonight?
I'll do one solo right after this. I'll just go through the model and some of the thoughts behind it.
Good deal. And then, all right, that'll be it. And then Q will knock out a solo for y'all as well. So thank y'all, and have a good weekend, and don't sleep on the Cardinals. Caw-caw. Caw-caw.
That's how we've won all year, team, right? Because you held them to 20 points, man. You gave us a chance at the end. I got 3 words for you. You like that? Yeah!